How does the zombie fungus control ant behavior? Imagine a tiny ant going about its day when suddenly it starts acting in a strange way. It climbs to a high spot, bites onto a leaf, and then stays there, seemingly unaware of its surroundings. This bizarre behavior is not random. It is caused by a fascinating parasite called the zombie fungus. The fungus, mainly Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, infects ants and takes over their actions to help itself reproduce. This process is a perfect example of how organisms interact in food chains and ecosystems. The infection begins when fungal spores land on the ant's outer shell. The spores produce enzymes like chitinase, lipase, and protease to break through the tough exoskeleton. Once inside, the fungus spreads throughout the ant's body, including its brain. As the fungus grows, it releases special chemicals that influence the ant's nervous system. These chemicals are thought to affect the ant's central nervous system and internal biological rhythms, or circadian rhythms, which control daily activities. The fungus manipulates the ant to climb to a specific height, usually on a leaf or twig. This is a strategic move because it helps the fungus spread its spores more effectively. Once the ant bites onto the leaf, the fungus continues to grow inside, eventually killing the ant. The fungus then produces a long stalk that emerges from the ant's body, releasing spores into the environment. These spores will infect new ants, continuing the cycle. This behavior control is a clever way for the fungus to ensure its survival and spread. It also shows how parasites can influence food chains by controlling host behavior. In ecosystems, such interactions help maintain balance, as parasites like the zombie fungus can regulate ant populations. While reptiles and amphibians are not directly affected by this fungus, understanding these complex relationships helps us see how different species depend on each other. It also highlights the importance of conserving ecosystems because every organism plays a role in the web of life. So next time you see an ant climbing strangely or biting onto a leaf, remember that it might be under the spell of a tiny fungus working behind the scenes to keep its life cycle going. This is a perfect example of how ecological principles and food chains are intertwined in nature.